Section 4. Data Modeling. In this section, we will learn how to fuse data together within the data module. We will learn about creating joins, navigation paths, calculation, and more. Defining relationships. In last section, we created this first data module. So let's open that data module and start defining the relationships. If we click on this Relationships tab, currently we can see that all the tables are disconnected. That means Cognos doesn't know that if you want to fetch data from two or more tables, how to join them together. In the first section of this course, I explained that two of these 5 files are the data files, and those are branch cost data and client advisor performance data. For modeling, we are going to use the star schema concept here. Star schema is the simplest and most commonly used data modeling technique. In this technique, we identify the table which has got data, for example, branch cost, and then we identify the other dimensions or hierarchies which allow us to categorize the data. For example, branch hierarchy. So we will hold the control key on our keyboard and select branch hierarchy. With both these tables highlighted, you can right click and then open the relationship dialog. On this screen, we can create relationship between the branch cost data and branch hierarchy table. The common attribute or column between these two tables is the branch ID. So we will select branch on left hand side. And here Cognos has presented us with the values in that column. And we will select the branch ID on right hand side. And here as well, Cognos is showing us the values. And we can see that these values match. So these columns can be joined. Now please click on the Match Selected Columns button. Click on the refresh button to see the effect. Great. We can see that we are getting data back. That means Cognos is able to perform the join between these two tables, and the values are good for joining. Now scroll down and you will see this option where you can change the join types. Currently it says the join is inner join, one to many, and no filtering. Let's click on it and understand them in detail. The first option is called relationship type. When you click on this information bar, you can see what each of the join type means. Currently, we have selected inner join. That means we will only get those rows from one table for which we have a matching row in the other table based on the branch ID. Sometimes we may want to see categories from the hierarchy or dimension table, irrespective of whether there is data in the fact table or not. In that case, we may choose left outer or right outer join. Or in some cases, we may need full outer join. However, for now, we are okay to keep the inner join. Let's go to the next section. Here, we can see that 1-to-1 means Cognos would expect both the tables to have exactly one matching row. Whereas 1-to-many or many-to-one would mean that one table could have one row, whereas other could have many rows for the same joining key. In our case, we are expecting branch ID to be unique in the branch hierarchy table. That means for each branch ID, there will be only one row in the branch hierarchy table. However, there will be many rows in the cost data because we have 2 years of cost data in this table. So we need to change this, and rather than it being 1-to-many, it should be many-to-one. So let's change this to many-to-one. And now we can see that Cognos is showing cost data having the many side and the branch hierarchy having the one side. Cardinality is particularly important when you have more than one fact tables, and we will come to it later in this course. I would encourage you to read about the optimization as well. For this video course, we are not going to change any of the optimization options. Let's click on OK. And now we can see in this relationships tab that branch hierarchy and branch cost data tables are joined with one-to-many relationship. Now, we are going to do the same thing with another fact table, which is the client advisor performance data. So hold the control key down on your keyboard, select both the tables, right-click on any one of them and open the relationships table. Again, select the branch column from CA performance data table and branch ID from the branch hierarchy table, and click on match selected columns and refresh the data. Perfect. Cognos is able to fetch the data from both the tables together and join them using the branch and branch ID columns. Again, the relationship is the other way around. So let's change it by opening this dialog and changing the cardinality to many to one. Refresh the data one more time and then click on OK. Typically, star schema has one fact table surrounded by multiple dimensions. However, in our current schema, we have two fact tables. And that is why defining the one-to-many cardinality in the relationships is extremely important. This will allow Cognos to form the correct relationship or SQL and fetch proper data. We will now carry on joining the performance data with product list and employee list. Our client advisor performance data has got more information. It is the performance data of employees along with the products and the branches. So we will click on CA performance data, hold the control key down and click on product list. Right click and click on relationships. This time we will join the product column from CA performance data with the product column on the products list. Match selected columns, refresh the data, and now correct the cardinality to make sure that the fact table shows many and product list dimension shows 1 for the cardinality. Click on OK. And now lastly we will select employee list and CA performance data and define relationship between them. Interestingly, because I selected employee list first, it is showing on the left hand side. So the cardinality is one to many, which is correct. We will choose employee ID and employee column from here. Match the columns, refresh data, and yes, Cognos is able to join the tables. So we click on OK and we are done. We have defined all the relationships in this data module. With the branch cost data, we will be able to use the branch hierarchy table. Whereas with CA performance data, we will be able to use employee list, product list, and branch hierarchy tables. I would like to highlight one more thing here. If you open CA performance data table, notice that it has got 4 identifiers or attributes called employee, branch, month, and product. And it has got 3 measures called invested assets, fees, and commissions. If you open the relationships, you will notice that it is not going to show us any of those measures which were invested assets, fees, and commissions. So, defining relationship between two tables is only possible for identifiers and attributes. Hence, if you are not able to see any column, then make sure that the usage of that column is set to identifier or attribute. Now imagine that you want to build a table or a grid where you are going to show some data from the client advisor performance table and some data from the branch costs. Right now they are both related via the branch hierarchy. That means Cognos will be able to appropriately map the branch costs to the branch performance data. However, there is one more common field between these two tables, and that is the reporting month. Yes, both of these tables have got data for multiple months of 2019 and 2020. And we would want to make sure that each month's data is appropriately joined.